Hey guys, it's Danae, and I am here with the Philadelphia Sunday Sun, back again every Sunday at 2 p.m. As you see, I have here with me my beautiful guest, Brittany, who's going to talk about her brand, Refined Hair Care. And I recently purchased some hair oil myself. So I'm really excited to have her on here just to talk about, where she's come from, what she's done, what she's doing, and all those great things. So, Brittany, without further ado, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Okay, hi, my name is Brittany. Um, I am the owner of Refined Hair and Skincare. I started this business probably, oh, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. I
Oh,
started
wow.
doing a lot of research
Mhm.
um, for my company. I'm sorry, I have a dog.
Okay.
Um, and I actually just started like selling products about 2 years ago. And then a year ago, I'm sorry, Pepper, please stop. Um, about a year ago, I really started taking it serious.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So you said that like you kind of like were embarking on this journey starting 5 years ago. So, but you didn't officially start putting out products till like the past like 2 years, 1 year, whatever. So, what did the beginning of that process look like for you? Like 5 years ago, what were you doing that led you to this point?
So about 6 years ago, I was in a really, really rough relationship, actually. And
Okay.
um, the stress from it started manifesting on my skin and in my hair.
Yeah.
So I would try all these different things to try to like clear my skin up, grow my hair, and it was like nothing was working. I tried the famous Proactive, and that didn't help. It was
Yeah.
just like, oh, what can I do?
Right.
And so I'm a chemistry major in
Okay.
college. So I just started Googling different like ingredients on the back of different skincare and hair care products that I would try.
Uh-huh.
And found that a lot of them were like really bad for you.
Yeah.
So I just started looking up things that were really good for you. Um, and I just went back to everything natural.
Yeah, I think that's amazing that you're doing natural stuff. And I've been seeing, a lot of people lately have kind of been coming out with skincare lines and stuff like that. But it sounds like you were kind of like ahead of the ball. And I think it's really cool that you have like a chemistry background because I found that with a lot of the people who do have these skincare brands, they don't necessarily have the chemistry background. But, they've been able to do research on their own. And I think, but it says something, to your point that you were kind of able to take what you went to school for and infuse it into your passion seamlessly. So my next question to you then about chemistry is like when you went into school and you decided that you were going to be a chemistry major, was it with the intention of eventually creating a skincare line or was it for something different?
No, so initially I wanted to be a cardiologist.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, oh, this is it. That's what I'm going to be. That's what
Uh-huh.
my life is for. Just, I'm going to be a cardiologist. And I actually was a medical scribe for almost 2 years. And
Wow.
so I worked in different departments and I
Hmm.
worked in the emergency room as well. So I was able to see like different diseases and talk to different types of physicians who have different specialties.
Right.
And one physician I worked really closely with when I was a medical scribe, he told me, don't limit yourself to one field because once you do that, you're stuck.
Yeah.
And so as I started talking to more physicians and seeing different things, and I just kind of strayed away from the physician portion, I was like, I just really like science.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And so in a lab, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, if I work in a lab, I can infuse that with my own products and boom, I can have control over everything, the creative side, the business side, and then the scientific portion of it.
Wow,
So
wow. And then also as somebody who's into science, so not only did you research and know that the chemicals that are in a lot of these skincare products are bad, but like you actually like know like those chemicals and things like that. Like I feel like that understanding of what should be in skincare is just so interesting to me. And like I said, like I've talked to other people who make skincare and do things like that, but I think you're the first who's actually had like that chemistry background. So that's just super cool to me because I was never good at like science or like anything like that. So that's really Dope. But so I guess from like a chemist standpoint, why do you think it is that all these big brands and big companies infuse such harmful products in our skincare?
I think because it's easier to mass produce products that
Yeah.
have harmful ingredients because they usually have a longer shelf life. So
Got you.
when you're making things, especially for the hair and skin that are all natural, you really have to find ingredients that have at least 12 months of shelf life, and that is
Mhm.
so hard. It's so
Yeah.
very hard. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask you, like, what's that process been like for you? Like, I know you have like a lengthy list of ingredients in your hair oil that are all like super healthy and super natural, but how difficult was that for you to source? Or even to come up with like a formula?
So it took me 2 years, and it took me whew, a lot of money and it took me a lot of trial and error. So I want to
Mhm.
say I spent at least 2 years coming up with this little tiny bottle. Like, and everyone's
Wow.
like, oh, you need bigger bottles. And I'm like, you guys, it's
Yeah.
a lot of math and a lot of chemistry in that little bottle. It
Wow.
really is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed. Like I started using mine yesterday, and I love the way it smells. So I'm like super excited to see
Good.
the results. But you have beautiful skin and hair yourself. So were you your first like I don't want to say test dummy, but like were you like did you test on yourself first? Did you kind of have other people to, help you? Like what was that like?
So I was my first test dummy. It's okay. I was my first test dummy because I actually had really bad eczema and
Oh, I have yeah.
really terrible acne.
Yeah,
Like, it was
okay.
horrible. And I would just wear a bunch of makeup and cover
Mhm.
it up, and that made it worse.
Yeah.
And my mom, she just didn't know what to do. She
Hmm.
had no clue because she didn't have terrible skin like I had. Um,
Right.
so the first thing I tried was oatmeal.
Okay.
Okay, that really helped with my eczema. It didn't really clear it up, but it helped it not be so itchy and
Right.
irritating. And
Okay.
so from there, it was just like I can't use anything medicated because once you stop the medication,
It
it comes back
yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was my first test dummy. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then as
Wow.
far as my hair, I don't know what I was going through when I was like 19, but I just cut it all off. I just
Yeah.
cut it all off. And then I was ready for it to grow back, and it wouldn't grow back until I started using my products on myself, and it grew back.
Right, right. So okay, so since you brought up the oil, tell us like a little bit more about this. I know you said that it had taken you about like 2 years to really come up with a formula that works, but like how did you know that this was going to work so well? Because I've seen your before and after pictures and it's amazing. So that's why I'm like super excited about it. But because a lot of hair oils don't necessarily work. So how did you know like this was it?
So I knew this was it when my father started using it. Like, I
Hmm.
knew it worked for myself, but everyone's body chemistry is
Different.
different.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I don't know if this is gonna work, but we have to try it because my father actually has bone and prostate cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And he was upset when he was first diagnosed, but I think it really hit him when he started losing his hair.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just went to him one day and was like, just try it. And he was like, okay. And I think he told me he was only like using 2 to 3 drops twice a day and
Mm-hmm.
just rubbing it all over his head. And it just started growing back while
Yeah.
he on his chemo and radiation treatments. It just started growing. And
Right.
he was super excited, like, oh, I can finally get a haircut. And, he was diagnosed when it was summertime. So he would
Mhm.
try to wear hats.
Right.
He was really hot because one of the side effects of chemo and radiation is you have heat flashes.
Wow. Okay.
Like, so it was really difficult for him to be comfortable and wear a hat. And also, my father has always had a great full head of hair.
Yeah.
Like, reaching 60, and he still has a lot of hair. He still
Yeah.
has hair. So one day I was just like, let's try it. And when I tell you, he made me make a video and take pictures
Oh,
every month of his hair growth. It was every month for 5 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
that's when I was like, okay, I need to do something with this.
Yeah.
And my best friend, I'm actually the godmother of her children. And her youngest daughter, her hair would grow, but it would take so long. And
Hmm.
it seemed like it would never grow.
Yeah.
And so she used it on her daughter. And that's how I was like, okay, it's gentle enough for children. And it
Right.
works. Like it
Yeah.
really, really works. So
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So tell us a little bit about how to use it. I know you said that your dad would use about like 2 to 3 drops twice a day, but like what's the recommended usage? Because it is a bit of a thicker oil.
right. So the key ingredient is black Jamaican black castor oil, which took
Mhm.
me 2 years to find real Jamaican black castor oil.
Wow.
There are so many fake castor oils on the market.
That's
Um,
good to know.
so since it is a really thick oil, I do suggest using it every other day, and you don't
Okay.
need a lot because
Okay.
it is a really heavy oil.
Mm,
Um, if you have like drier scalp or drier hair, you maybe could use it once a day. I also suggest using it either as a hot oil treatment or with your deep conditioning. That's how I use it. I use it with deep conditioning. I even take it to the hair salon with me. I'm like, no, put it in there. um, and then usually for men, they kind of like wet their hair in the shower every day. So I just
yeah.
tell them to use it every day. But
Okay.
it could be you can use it every day. You can use it every other day. You can use it with deep conditioning, hot oil treatment. I don't suggest using it after styling because it is
Okay.
heavy oil. So
Gotcha.
I might not last that long. And I also suggest using it with protective styling for women. So if you get like braids or if you get a weave,
Mhm.
and if you get a wig, like you have the braids underneath, I would suggest using it.
Right. Okay. And so say that a person were to use the oil like every other day. How long would you think that the bottle would last? Because it's like a 1 ounce bottle. So how long would you say that this lasts?
Oh man, because people are really heavy with the
Mhm.
dropper, and I tell them don't be so heavy. I would hope that you could get a month out of it.
Okay.
I'm looking for bigger bottles. The only issue with that is the bigger bottles are easy to find, but the caps are so hard to find. So these are leak proof and child proof. So you have to actually
Yeah.
put it down and twist. So
Yeah, yeah. You guys can see it has like an extra layer of protection. I was really like impressed when I saw that.
yeah, everything was strategically planned out because I hate when I order something and it's all over the packaging and then you can't order it and then you have to order a new one or get a
Yeah.
refund. So I just
Right.
wanted there to be no issues with the product. Like I want it to be like a flawless product because I have like a little bit of a perfectionist
That's okay.
in me.
That's
So
okay.
yeah, I would hope that people could get at least a month's use out of each bottle
Awesome.
until I get the bigger ones.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that should be coming soon. So you guys heard it here. Make sure you guys are checking her out. But okay, so my next question to you is you specifically mentioned the black castor oil as being like a really important component to it, but also how difficult it is to find. Could you give some advice to other brands who might want to start skincare? Because I think a lot of people, they just see something in the store and they're like, oh, this is like shea butter, like I can just get this, or oh, this is like black castor oil, I can just get this. But you're saying that a lot of these places are selling stuff that's not legit. So, what advice could you give for somebody who's looking to start a skincare brand?
Research,
Yeah.
research, research is so important. And utilize your friends and family. Make them use your stuff. Force
Yeah.
them to use it. It's so hard to get people to use your stuff and give you feedback, but stay on top of them.
Yeah.
Um, And as far as ingredients, so here I'm, well, obviously from Philadelphia, but here in Philly, we have a lot of stores that are Islamic based. And we also have quite a few Black owned like health stores.
Mhm.
So I definitely go in and I talk to the staff about,
Okay.
okay, if this is real, how should it look or what should it smell like?
Yeah.
Um, and then what's the process for example, so castor oil could be made two different ways because it comes from like a bean. So it
Hmm.
can be roasted and then the oil is secreted that way, or it could be cold pressed and then the oil is secreted that way. I find that when it's roasted, it's better.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I would just suggest doing a lot of research, a lot of
Mhm.
research. And you want to be very careful because you are, selling products that go on people's
On
skin
people's
and
skin.
in their hair. So you don't want to cause any allergic reactions, but
Mhm.
sometimes it will happen. Like even
Yeah.
mass produced products, it'll happen.
Yeah. Wow. So how much pressure is it on you to create something like this? You know, you mentioned that it's going on people's hair and people's skin and all that other stuff. How much pressure is that for you to create, your product?
A lot. I'm actually really, really nervous about it. I wasn't going to really take it further than my personal use and my dad's use and like a few of my friends. Um, but my one friend, she is a hair stylist. And she was like, you have something, like she uses it on her clients and they're like, they love it. They want to know how they can buy it, where they can get it. So it's like a lot of feedback all the time. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot
Yeah.
of pressure. I'm still in school,
Okay.
and I still work. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of pressure, a lot of time, and a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot.
So you do everything on your own, or do you have a team?
Right now, I do everything on my own. So everything is handmade in this background that you see in my little apartment.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. And like, what is that like? Like, what is your average day when you have orders? Like, what does that look like? Does it take a couple hours? Like, what's the process?
Yes. So I usually start my day between 5 and 7 a.m.
Oh my God.
I know. And then it's so crazy because that's the days that I would have off.
Okay.
When
Wow.
I work overnight.
Oh my God.
So it's just like I go from work to doing school work to getting a little nap in to looking up stuff for refine while I'm at work to coming home, implementing what I found or coming up with new ideas or making labels or filling bottles. And then on my days off, it's like, oh, it's 5 a.m. Let's fill 100 bottles.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can only imagine how much that is. I have a small business myself, but it's not anything as like technical as this. So kudos to you. But okay, so we talked about your hair oil. Tell us a little bit about your skincare bar.
Okay, so I have an acne cleansing bar, which actually I just sold out today. I shipped
Wow.
off the last.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that actually took more research than the hair care oil because I wanted to be the first one to use it on myself because I had really, really bad skin. And it's cleared up, but I still get really, really irritated. So I can't use anything with fragrances or
Mm,
dyes.
yeah.
And I can't really use anything that's alcohol based because it's super
Okay.
dry.
Yeah.
I had to figure out what's a good soap base and then what can I put in the soap to help with acne and hyperpigmentation. Because when I get a pimple, once it heals, it leaves such a dark mark and it
Bar.
takes
Yes. I'm
forever.
like I have it going on right here. So I'm listening to you like I need to purchase this bar.
Yeah. So um the base is actually goat's milk soap, which a
Wow.
lot of people have heard of, but it's actually really, really moisturizing because
Mhm.
soap can dry your skin out. So it's super,
Right.
super moisturizing. And then it's also a shea butter base as well. So I mixed the two soap bases together. And then I started researching acids. Now, when you hear acids in your skin, you're like, what the hell is she talking about?
Yeah.
Why would I put acid on my skin? But there are a lot of healthy acids, like
Okay.
oxalic acid, hyaluronic acid, which is actually very, very, very hydrating. And
Okay. Wow.
and then there's some essential oils that you can use. Like I use lavender; it's a great scent, and it's also really, really good for acne. And then
Mm.
there's a little vitamin C in there to help us out with that hyperpigmentation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So what is, go ahead. I'm sorry.
sorry, I put a few, you know, pieces of oat in there because oat is really, really calming for the skin. So if you
Right.
do get a little mild irritation, it shouldn't be as bad because when you're switching or using a new soap for the first time, it can cause some redness, a little tingling. To me, that just means it's working.
Hmm.
But the oat should really help with that. So that was really strategically planned as well. Everything is strategic here.
Yeah. And so if I get a bar, so my skin will look like yours.
After a few months, this is years. This is like also diet change as well.
Gotcha.
So I don't drink any soda other than ginger ale if my stomach hurts.
Mhm.
I juice a lot. Everyone thinks I'm like weird. I juice a lot. So I drink a lot of like caloria juice, powder.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and a lot of water. And then, you know, I was just talking to my friend about how stress can manifest on your skin.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very calm these days. So
Good for
this is how
you.
you
Good
no
for
stress,
you.
lots of water and good acids.
Yeah, that's great to know for myself because I don't break out a lot, but when I do get a bump, like you said, like I have hyperpigmentation and I also have eczema, so like I've been just going through it lately.
Vitamin
Um
C will be your best friend, and tea tree oil.
yes, well thank you so much for that. I think that was actually the last question I have for you. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you might want to talk about?
No, but I do have a few, excuse me, products that I will be adding to the line soon. So I've collaborated with this company to start producing some shampoo and conditioner because that's
Wow.
actually very, very difficult
Yeah.
to do on your own because
Yeah.
most shampoos and conditioners have a water base.
Right.
Um, and their shelf life isn't that long if you don't use the correct preservative. Um, look out for a hair mask that's coming, and I'm working on a few scrubs and
Wow.
serums for the face and skin. Oh, and the acne cleansing bar can be used all over your body. People think it's just for your face, but
Yeah.
people get body acne,
Right.
so you can use it all over.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing all these just amazing, great things with us. And I'm so happy I was able to talk to you today. I'm like really excited about what you're doing. And like I said, I'm like super excited about this hair oil because I just got a crazy trim like 2 months ago and I'm like, I need my fro back. So thank you so much for just sharing your skills and your talents with us. And I'm so excited to see, what you have coming. Yeah. But
And
again,
I appreciate you taking
oh,
interest in
yeah, of
your
course.
support. Thank you for your purchase. I really, really appreciate it. I
Of
really, really do.
course.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy that people are believing in me the way that I believe in myself. So thank you so
Oh,
much.
you're welcome. That's so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for, joining us and talking to us. And I also want to thank you guys for tuning into another episode of a Millennial Voices show. Again, I'm here with the Philadelphia Sunday Sun every Sunday at 2 p.m. If you guys love my show, you can also check out my articles in our newspapers at www.philasun.com. Or if you want to get us in print, it's only $40 a year. Again, thank you so much for being here, and we will definitely keep in touch.
We will. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.